to win this game this evening.
And Texas A&M will get the basketball first. Jordan Nixon, we've mentioned her. You'll want to watch her, number 5 in white for Texas A&M. She's their point guard. Quidasha Hoppy. And Arkansas takes it out. Riley Langerman. All the way to the basket, and Langerman will go to the free throw line. You see the starters. Langerman is in that starting 5 because Michaela Daniels is out with a knee injury. Great news, she does not need surgery. She was walking around today at shoot-around.
Well, I said, how much fear does this impose on all the SEC to know that, hey, she will be back. That is the plan. But tough start for A&M. Gary Blair said to us, we need to have a good start for our...
Back in the starting lineup. She did not start in their last game. She is their leading scorer. Gary Blair was looking for a little more defense out of his lineup last time around. Nixon, top of the key. Rebound by Aaliyah Patty.
And this is the young lady who I think just needs to give the Aggies more. Patty, the transfer from Ohio State, dynamic off the bounce, unfortunately couldn't finish.
And we've seen her give them more at times. She had a career-high 20 points, 18 rebounds in their win over UTSA. Kayla Wells bringing the ball up the floor. Misses the layup. Wells is their leading scorer, averaging 16.3 points per game. She's one of their veteran players. Look, she didn't start last game, but she still led them with 17 points off the bench.
And that's a veteran. Doesn't matter home, away, starting, coming off the bench. She knows her role. And the key right now is, can she give the Aggies a little bit more defensively? Because you hit it on the head. It's not one thing that's caused A&M these losses. It's something different almost every night. Against Mississippi State, they didn't stick to the game plan. That's a big challenge that Gary Blair gave his team today.
Yeah, talking to Coach Blair, he has tried everything. Because as you said, it's hard to pinpoint just one thing. And there's a good bucket by Aaliyah Patty.
Great seal by Patty. She got her defender deep. Easy catch and score.
Sasha Goforth on the wing for Arkansas, driving in the paint. Razorbacks, they shoot the 3, but not afraid to take it inside.
And that's the young lady who's probably the most dynamic at getting to the rim for the Razorbacks this season. Sasha Goforth, I think she's going to have a lot more opportunities to do that this evening because they've got to make up some of that scoring loss by Daniels.
Goforth kind of switched positions to that lock position a few games ago as Amber Ramirez moved to the Dragon, meaning just the trail position, but Sasha Goforth feeling much more comfortable running to the corner on offense.
Partner, you're getting the lingo down now.
Oh,
the trail,
man.
The Dragon.
We've had Arkansas like 3 games in the last 2 weeks. I'm speaking Mike Neighbors' language. Jordan Nixon, big-time bucket. They need her offense.
Absolutely, and so much has been on her shoulders since mid-December. So many different players out with COVID or injuries. All of that fell on Jordan Nixon's shoulders. Now she's got a full squad around her.
Destiny Pitts misses the shot inside the lane. Spencer for 3. Arkansas still looking for its first 3.
You know, one thing I ask every opposing coach of Arkansas is the pace of play. What do you want? And Gary Blair said, hey, we don't want a game in the 90s, but we definitely don't want an ugly game in the 50s. So you're going to see them push tempo as Wells just did.
Spencer picked up her dribble, needs somebody to help her out. Sasha Goforth is there. Stripped of the basketball. Jordan Nixon got a hand on it. Kayla Wells on the wing for the triple. Oh, what a dish off to Jersey Wolfenbarger. Remember, Samara Spencer, number 2 in the Cardinal jersey, is playing the starting point guard role because no Michaela Daniels.
Well, and earlier this season, Spencer was that primary ball handler. She and Michaela Daniels kind of yin and yang from the point. It's just a matter of now not having Daniels at all. Her Batman is gone. How does Robin respond here this evening?
Count the basket from Quidasha Hoppy, and the foul is going to be on Riley Langerman. You know, talking with Gary Blair, it's amazing his career. Of course, this is going to be his last season as the head coach. Texas A&M, he announced his retirement before the season, but he's tried everything. 11 different starting lineups in 20 games coming into tonight. He loves the people he has on this team. He just is working to find that right combination.
Well, you don't become a Hall of Famer without trying to fix the problems, and I respect that so much. And like I said, I went through every stat sheet, every game. What's the common denominator? Is it slow starts, fast starts, fades, whatever? And it's been something different every evening, which I'm sure just drives the head coach even crazier.
Alana Eaton misses everything. And a travel by Quadasha Hoppy. You know, we mentioned the connection. Mike Neighbors was the director of operations under Gary Blair at Arkansas when Coach Blair was the head coach there for a decade. He knew this game was going to be something special for him. You'll notice that Mike Neighbors wearing that suit. We usually see him in just a coach's shirt or a coach's polo. He's dressing up because Coach Blair always dresses up.
Well, it's hard to find a forgiving Gary Blair, but I got to give Mike Neighbors credit. In his local media session earlier this week, he said, hey, bottom line is you're not talking to me today if it's not for that man. And I love the respect that he has and continues to show Gary Blair.
I got chills when I heard him say that, listening to it. It was like, oh, man. I mean, that's just the relationship. We saw them talking pregame. I mean, he means so much, Gary Blair does, to Mike Neighbors. And you're going to hear that story a lot. It's not just a couple people. Aaron Barnum kicks back out to Amber Ramirez, who has not scored yet. Oh, collision under the basket. And Destiny Pitts is still down for Texas A&M. 49 career wins. He could hit 850 tonight.
I mean, that's just it. For anyone who has been following them this season, they have struggled, but if you don't believe that 850 is in play tonight, you don't know Gary Blair. He will have his team ready to play this evening.
So far, they've come out and shot 42% from the field. Jordan Nixon trying to create as the shot clock winds down. That's a 2. Sydney Roby, a second chance for the Aggies.
And that's the thing. The Aggies can throw some different posts at Arkansas, hopefully keeping them fresh and allowing them to get on the glass.
Tamara Spencer tied it up, but it went out of bounds off of Arkansas. Texas A&M ball, no foul called. Wells coming off.
When they out from the inbound defender position, there's little.
Wells coming off.
When they out from the inbound defender position, there's little things that Arkansas, I think, will continue to get better at without her on the floor, but you're seeing them magnified at this moment.
Yeah, again, no Michaela Daniels for Arkansas, out for an undisclosed amount of time, but she has been walking up on her own. She was injured in their last game. She's their point guard and one of their best defenders. Kayla Wells, A&M.
And that is their 4th offensive rebound already this evening. And one thing I like about the offense so far, it hasn't been quick shooting. They've had ball reversals, they've had inside out, and they've had a lot of paint touches.
Sydney Roby with the paint touch and a blocking foul called on Samara Spencer. Look, Todd Schaefer told us we cannot get Spencer in foul trouble tonight.
Well, not only is she defending Nixon, so she's slid into Daniels' role of defending the best opposing offensive player. As you see, Roby get that inbounds pass. She's strong. She's physical. She just has struggled to finish. Hopefully now Gary Blair's big challenge to his post players. Get to the free throw line and convert at the free throw line.
Yeah, Sydney Roby has struggled from the free throw line, 47% on the season. Roby went 0 for 4 from the field in their loss to Mississippi State on Sunday. Gets the second one.
And expect Texas A&M now to extend into a full-court defense, trying to slow Arkansas down. Again, Arkansas wants to play with pace. They want to score in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock.
That's going to make it hard on the freshman point guard, too, for Arkansas.
Absolutely. It makes her have to think, read a defense in the half court, get your team in an offense. If they play quick, less is on Spencer's shoulders this evening.
Ramirez dumps it back to Aaron Barnum. Barnum going up on Aaliyah Patty, and Patty whistled for the foul. That's her first. And Aaron Barnum goes to the free throw line. We were talking to Mike Neighbors. You know, Barnum missed a significant amount of time with an injury. She was out 9 games. Really, the original timeline, they were supposed to have her back for their last game, which was Monday against Tennessee. Speaking of injuries, Destiny Pitts coming to check back in. She was shaken up and taken back to the locker room just moments ago, and she checks back in the game.
Well, Pitts just helps spread that half-court defense even more, so it gives Nixon lanes to the rim, allows the post more room to operate because you got to respect her threat from deep.
Oh, dangerous pass. Hoppy corrals it. And Aaliyah Patty, you see the length she has. Offensive boards continuing.
Well, I love that she didn't try to go grab it. Knew she couldn't, so kept it alive.
That should have been a shot immediately from Nixon, right?
Yeah, you want to shoot in rhythm, and that's what Nixon wasn't because she hesitated there for a moment. And she's talking to herself right now as she goes back down the floor.
Jordan Nixon, one of the leaders on this team. Really good player and really cerebral player.
Absolutely. It was interesting just watching practice yesterday, the way she was asking questions, answering the questions from the coaching staff. As Sasha Goforth gets going downhill, she's so good going to her right.
Arkansas still has not hit a three-pointer. They're 0 for 2.
And you're seeing A&M go a little small, putting Patty in at the post, going with more of the 4-guard lineup.
Destiny Pitts in the paint.
Are those pit points?
Oh, Christie! I like it. Do you like the smaller lineup for A&M?
I do. Again, it hasn't been a strength of theirs. They're getting the low post point score, so I think what it does is actually allows them to match up better with Arkansas defensively. And obviously spreads the floor even more with more three-point shooters on the floor.
And Kayla Wells just wide open. Wells already in double figures with 10 points here in the first quarter.
Big bucket by Spencer there. And I can't say this enough. What Daniels did so much for Arkansas was get 2 feet in the paint. And that made defenses collapse, which allowed her to kick out to shooters. Key for Spencer there to get in the paint and score.
Nixon is going to get the bucket, and she draws the foul on Jersey Wolfenbarger.
Something about Jordan Nixon, how she loves playing the Razorbacks. Degree of difficulty off the charts there with the contact and the finish.
Yeah, Jordan Nixon started her career at Notre Dame, has become the point guard leader of this Texas A&M group. 6 points, they'll bring in Mackenzie Green along with Sahara Jones, excuse me.
Well, not surprised at all that Nixon's getting a break here. It's approaching the quarter break. Gary Blair needs her on the floor, so just trying to get her quality rest while her team's still up.
Meanwhile, Arkansas, the team known for the threes, has not been able to hit one, and they've only taken 2. Remember, Arkansas averages 10 threes in SEC play a game.
Well, and I got to say, right now, we're not seeing a lot of dribble penetration into the paint. That's allowing A&M to stay solid on the shooters around the 3, so they haven't been open for the looks.
Amber Ramirez on the inbounds play.
And so I was going to say it's subtle there, but Ramirez is wide open because of her three-point shooting. Defender had to chase around, which allowed her to curl and score.
And she came up hobbling a little bit, grimacing on her face, but still moving, chasing Pitts. Pitts with the floater in and out. Riley Langerman, the rebound. Shot clock still on for Arkansas. Calling for Ramirez to come get the basketball. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. For two. Jones from half court, off of the iron.
I mean, this young lady is remarkable because this is a couple of different articles that I've read by her now, and just her ability to transform her voice into written word, it's magical. See, I can't even do it justice. I'm no Jordan Nixon.
Well, you have to go read it. The next hoops. Amber Ramirez, first three for Arkansas.
And that's what you can't do against Arkansas because their two highest rates of hitting the three are off driving kick and offensive rebound from the in to the out.
You can't count Arkansas out of any game either because they can just shoot threes and get right back in it so fast. Zahara Jones taking it in on Goforth, rattles out. Langerman, she's done that a couple of times.
Courtney, you just felt like Arkansas needed to see a long ball go in, and then the offense would start clicking. Just extra pass there to Ramirez in the trail. And then off of Jersey's dribble penetration, you have Riley Langerman, who's just sealing the defender off. So strong. I think so underrated for this Arkansas ball club.
Yeah, she's that hustle player. She's going to fill up your steals category. Maybe not anywhere else in the stat sheet. She's going to guard your best defender. I was joking with her today. Look, you've guarded Aaliyah Boston, who's probably going to be the National Player of the Year. Last game, it was Jordan Horston, who's an automatic double-double for Tennessee.
And she doesn't back down. I mean, this young lady's just tough, plays physical, and just every coach needs a player like Riley Langerman because she gives you whatever you need.
Arkansas looks like they're picking up the pace and they're driving the basketball a little more.
Well, we were talking about during the break, the one thing that Arkansas had to do was just play quicker tempo. This team is shooting over 50% on the season, in SEC play, when they shoot within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. Those percentages drop significantly the later they go into a shot clock.
Spencer will get help from the bounce to get that free throw. Arkansas is a good free throw shooting team. 70% on the season. I know, it's my fault. It is an 8-0 run for Arkansas, though. They've cut it to 3. Sydney Roby, that's a great move.
Well, again, they're not having to make these hard moves because they're getting great position before the ball hits their hands, so all they have to do is turn and score.
Ramirez. She's so good off a ball screen.
It's pick your poison. If you go under, she's going to hit the 3. If you chase, she's so good at turning that screen so tight to force you to chase, and as we saw, knocks it down.
And we told you, Amber Ramirez, last 4 games, 22.5 points per game. The long ball from Q Hoppy. Texas A&M 4 of 8 from behind the arc. Double dribble on Sasha Goforth. Ramirez heating up. She's got 7.
Well, the on-ball screen, you have to have a quality game plan against Ramirez off of the on-ball because you see how good she is at getting her shoulder to the hip of the screener, which forces that defender to make a decision. I think Arkansas is going to say, A&M, you made the wrong decision to chase there.
Yeah. Maybe it was the right decision if you're Arkansas.
True.
They'll take the bucket. Nixon getting aggressive too, driving in and draws the foul. It's on Wolfenbarger, her second. Nixon with 6 points out of New York. She has been a starter since she stepped foot on campus after playing a season at Notre Dame. And we talked about her writing, but she also hosts a podcast.
Again, I'm just happy to get up and get to where I need to every morning.
Right.
And this young lady, for the run that A&M made a year ago, it wasn't until the latter part of the season that she really started scoring in a major way. She was just that facilitator, got the ball to who needed it when they needed it, and really, I felt like, was that silent MVP for their regular season championship a year ago.
Well, I don't think I'll ever forget the interview. I think it was Holly Rowe talking to her after the buzzer beater against Iowa State to send them to the Sweet 16. I mean, she was in tears, emotional about how much this team meant to her and how they trusted her.
You just saw in that moment just how connected that team was. And this year things haven't gone their way all the time, but you see it. Gary Blair told us, this team likes one another. We don't have issues like that. We just haven't been able to put together 40 straight minutes.
Roby calling for it. 3 Razorbacks surrounding her. She still gets the rebound. Oh, 2 good looks that A&M would have loved to have. Spencer, okay.
Have we mentioned that Spencer does not play like a freshman? That time it was just the change of pace that allowed her to get the step on Nixon and get to the rim. And right now, Gary Blair has Green in at the point just to take a little pressure off of Nixon, allow her to play more of that 2 guard, and let Mackenzie Green try to make something happen offensively.
Green in the corner. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Just takes it to the rack.
Did I mention Mackenzie Green is in?
Yeah.
Just to create a little offense?
Oh, do you mean like that? Oh, but Spencer answers with the 3.
Spencer's starting to heat up. And again, Green is now matched up on Ramirez. So someone's got to tame the other Splash sister because they're just saying they're heating up.
Now Spencer with 8 points right now to lead Arkansas. Nixon for 2. Langerman by herself.
Smart decision by Nixon. Didn't have numbers. Pulls it out. Now let's work a little 5-on-5 action.
Wells the step around. Here comes Arkansas. They've hit 5 of their last 7 shots. And foul called on Texas A&M's Mackenzie Green. We'll step aside. When we come back, let's break down this Razorback, break everything down.
And Courtney, I got to give Jeff Brazil.
I was going to say, shout
Arkansas
out to Jeff, please. He's been helping us out with those updated numbers.
All of my stat geekiness, he fulfills each time.
Yeah, he works on the Arkansas staff.
But I want to take it a step further. These are the analytics that Todd Schaefer, associate head coach, and Mike Neighbors use. They're how they evaluate where they need more points from, and it's also one of the reasons that why they listened to Amber Ramirez when she said, hey, I want to be the trail, the dragon, that position that comes in behind the ball and spots up for 3 because they saw that the data supported that.
Yeah, and it's worked out well. Mike Neighbors absolutely loves Ramirez being the inbounder and then the trail up the floor, what they call the dragon, which is way cooler than calling it the trail. Out of bounds off of Arkansas. Arkansas is going to bring in Emory Ellis. Mike Neighbors told us he was going to use a deeper rotation inside.
Well, I think something to watch is where are the bigs of A&M posting up when they're trying to get those paint touches.
Oh, Wells was just by herself. Aaliyah Patty.
Oh, she had it to go up before she just kicked it out. But of course
no.
she did.
Christy will take the 3. They'll take the 3.
My bad, Aaliyah Patty. You knew far more than I did on that one.
Alana Eaton. Arkansas did not have a made 3-pointer in the first quarter. They're only 2 for 8 so far tonight. Nixon. Arkansas ball. Aaliyah Patty's already shown she's a great rebounder. I mean, her length definitely helps.
Well, she's active so far, and that's what I love because she's got the potential. She's got the length. She's got the explosiveness off the bounce. Tonight, she's putting it all together, as well as defending down low for them.
6 rebounds. Riley Langerman.
And that's what I mean by to the paint off a dribble penetration.
Arkansas now 2 for 9 from 3. Patty working on Ellis.
And so that's what I meant by where are they posting up. That time, barely 1 foot in the paint. She's above the second hash mark, so she has to make a move. That has not been the forte of the bigs for A&M this year when they're led to the basket, when they can bury the defenders when they've been at their best in terms of their scoring.
Destiny Pitts was called for her first foul, and it puts Alana Eaton at the free throw line for Arkansas. Arkansas's hustle paying off. They get the rebound, but Emory Ellis trapped in a double team and throws it away. Kayla Wells to Pitts rolling. To Patty rolling. Ramirez in transition.
Who else but Patty on the glass? Gary Blair's definitely slowing this pace down now to get his team set up in the half court offensively.
Now, they've shown us just how good their half court offense can be tonight. Destiny Pitts.
This is the most consistent I've seen A&M play in SEC play, where they are working together on offense. They're not rushing the offense. They're looking and trying to create the best shot. Now, I'm not sure if A&M's slowing it up for pace of play against Arkansas or that they're fatigued, because there's a lot of white players right now that are sucking wind.
Oh, Kayla Wells, and one coming.
You know, sometimes when you're tired, you just need the ball in your hands. Kayla Wells, get to the rim off the glass.
Kayla Wells to the free throw line, 12 points already. Remember, Kayla Wells is 6th in career points at Texas A&M. She has 14 points coming into this game from tied for 5th, so just needs 2 more.
I mean, to Steffi's point, look good, play good with the shoes, right?
Yeah. Steffi could rock those shoes.
Yes, she could. I could not.
You got some pretty sweet kicks on tonight. The leather Nikes.
Thank you.
Emory Ellis. Way too much. And then Aggies looking for some points in transition, but Wells just can't corral it.
Yeah, just a half inch, and that was because defensive Arkansas was sprinting back, so it made Nixon have to lead her just a little bit too far.
Seven shots. And an offensive foul on the screen on Emory Ellis.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a little bit of a rub screen and the dribble drive, and Ellis just pretty much threw on Nixon. Glad Nixon's okay.
You know, speaking of Nixon, Gary Blair has told us multiple times this season he wants her to control the offense, run the offense. Have you seen her doing that more tonight?
Absolutely, and I think it's helped that Gary Blair has helped her in terms of having her walk it up at times. And he's definitely has always been the conductor on offense and calling those set plays.
Aaron Barnum, step through, bucket.
Yes, that is Arkansas's 5-player who just took it coast to coast and scored in transition.
Yeah, they're fine with that. Go right along, Aaron Barnum. That ends a 2+ minute scoring drought for Arkansas. About a 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Yeah, I got to imagine an on-ball screen here for Nixon.
Barnum steals it away. And there was a little more time than Aaron Barnum thought left on the clock.
Absolutely, but I'm also a little befuddled by A&M's last play. You just want a shot attempt. That's the bottom line. In the games, in the quarters, in the games, you want a shot opportunity.
Is on the floor.
Right. They want the layups, those rim shots. They want 30% a game. They want threes 40%, free throw 30%. And on the season, they've been doing great. Unfortunately, tonight, the three ball has not been a major part of their offense.
Yeah, just 2 for 13, and 10% of their points have come from three. They want 40%, as you said.
Well, and as we've said in the open, it doesn't matter what has happened because we know how hot this Arkansas offense can get, how quickly that can occur.
Possession arrow is pointing to Arkansas. This is an Arkansas team that averages 10 made threes per SEC game, and they have 2 right now.
Well, and we got to give A&M their due. This is the 5th highest ranked team in the nation in three-point field goal percentage. And that first half, I loved the way they were getting those opportunities within the offense, not forcing the shots up.
Tamara Spencer driving, and Jordan Nixon called for her second foul. Excuse me, her second foul.
And you would think the veteran Nixon would have the advantage over Spencer one-on-one, but that's just how crafty Spencer is when the ball's in her hands.
Arkansas also is usually a good free throw shooting team, but 44% from the charity stripe tonight.
Well, and they were so close to go into Thompson Bowling Arena and pulling off the upset on Monday. And if they converted from the free throw line, I feel like they would have walked out of there a winner.
Yeah, forced Tennessee into overtime and lost the game by 3 points.
Well, first play of the half, Gary Blair calls a set for Kayla Wells to spot up, and then that time, getting her down low off the bounce.
Amber Ramirez will try to answer from way deep.
That was another zip code.
Inside to Aaliyah Patty. Rebound by Wells. Rebounding's been big for A&M too. They're leading the rebounding battle 31-22.
Well, I said off the top, it's going to come down to possessions for A&M. Could they create extra ones? And at half, they were +7 in field goal attempts.
Jersey Wolfenbarger finishing through contact.
And that's one area Arkansas thought they could exploit of A&M. They thought that their post could beat A&M's bigs off the bounce.
Wolfenbarger is 2 for 2. Maybe they need to give her the ball a little bit more.
Well, we want her to shoot a 3 because
we
in
do.
warm-up, she was shooting from about 30 feet and draining them.
Consistently. Spencer getting aggressive.
2 buckets for Arkansas, both coming off of flat on ball screens. Spencer just getting to the rim.
And we've talked about it. That's one of the elements you miss with Michaela Daniels, someone that can drive in the paint consistently.
And not just drive, but read how the defense plays the drive and then get it to whoever's going to be open off the defensive rotation.
Or get to the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, Daniels led this team in offensive rebounding as well as free throw attempts.
Sasha Goforth in the corner. Riley Langerman with the rebound.
I think Ramirez wanted that one.
Gave it up to the freshman, and Spencer converts. A 7-0 run for Arkansas.
And that's the experience of Amber Ramirez. Didn't force it, made the extra pass. Spencer wide open for 3.
Spencer with 13 points to lead Arkansas.
So I'm eager to see how A&M answers now.
Inside to Pitts, A&M with the smaller lineup.
So the last two trips, A&M players have looked back at the officials wanting a call. Right now, play the game. Don't expect anything.
Beautiful ball movement from Arkansas. And Gary Blair calls timeout because something is clicking right now for the Razorbacks. They're on a 9-0 run.
Pace has been better.
Far for Arkansas.
They're getting downhill.
Yeah.
They're getting 2 feet in the paint. Of their 9 points, 6 of those have come off of dribble penetration. I mean, again, the layup is the highest percentage shot in the game. That's one of the main reasons why Arkansas is so good offensively. It's not just the threes. That's what we always focus on. But they are getting high percentage looks at the rim.
Kodasha Hoppy drive to the basket, too. And again, taking it in, but they missed the layup.
Oh, they got Patty.
Well, 4 points.
I was going to say, great screen on the ball. You had to rise up off of the mismatch. Way to find the post player.
Spencer's just going to continue to drive the basketball and now get into the free throw line.
Well, great execution by A&M, and this is where their posts have been so successful for A&M this evening. When they've gotten the ball 2 feet in the paint, turn and score. Aaliyah Patty yet again for the Aggies.
Patty's presence really felt in the first half because of her rebounding. 7 rebounds on the evening, just 4 points. But that was the best look she's had.
Well, and this is one thing Gary Blair talked to us about. When my players understand they can impact the game in more ways than just scoring, we're going to be a lot better. And hats off to Leah Patty because, as you said, she has impacted this game on both ends, yet only 4 points. But her team, more importantly, has an 8-point lead.
Spencer will
7 now. Spencer.
Yes, Spencer will get 1 of 2. So Patty will take a seat. Sydney Roby comes in the game for Texas A&M. And Mackenzie Green running the point.
Well, I think this is twofold. Mackenzie Green coming in to defend Spencer because, as we've seen, Spencer's been able to get to the rim.
And now Kayla Wells will go to the free throw line. That foul's on Sasha Goforth. Her first foul.
You know, that's a foul because she hit her on the arm, but that was after the shot had already been released out of the hand. Fortuitous for Wells.
Kayla Wells has already put herself at number 6 on the career points list for Texas A&M. Excuse me, she's bumped up to number 5 now in this game with her 18 points now. I didn't want to jinx it.
Dramatic effect.
And Spencer loses the basketball.
Well, credit A&M's defense. Great switch by Wells to cut Spencer off. Forces the turnover.
It's been even so far here in the third quarter. Each team has scored 10 points. Kayla Wells to 20.
Every play right now, Wells needs to get a touch because she is just balling out. That time I thought Langerman could have rotated over to take the charge, but Wells just got there too quickly.
Yeah, Wells, this is her 7th game with 20 or more points this season. Ramirez to Goforth. Back to Ramirez. It's been a tough night for Amber Ramirez. She's 3 of 11 from the field for 7 points. 1 of 4 from 3.
Yeah, that one looked rushed as she was trying to wrap there off the dribble penetration.
It'll be Texas A&M ball. Kayla Wells, she's their leading scorer on the season and their leading scorer tonight.
Well, she came to ball. It's been off the post up, this time off the on-ball screen, getting all the way to the rim, showing the versatility. Senior have a night.
What's my safe place?
Scorers in the SEC, the top 5 career scorers among active SEC players. We actually have 2 of them in this game. Wells is having a great night. Amber Ramirez struggling.
Yeah, surprised. But I go back to, you can't just take your leader off the floor and expect your offense is going to click the way it did. And we've seen throughout Michaela Daniels' career how she's been able to set up her teammates, putting them in the right spot at the right time. And that's what Amber Ramirez has been missing here this evening.
Daniels out with a knee injury, unavailable tonight. Hoppy coming off the screen. Mackenzie Green in the paint, elevates. She'll take it. Still counts.
Absolutely. And this is where I'm saying A&M is executing on-ball screen, forcing the switch, and they're finding the open teammate.
Leah Patty called for the foul. She wanted the block.
Well, A&M off of the Patty on-ball screen forces the switch, and that leaves Mackenzie Green open up top and just knows the home court ribs to get it to fall.
So Leah Patty will check out. That was her 3rd foul. Erin Barnum at the free throw line. Oh, rattles out. Arkansas is 16th in the nation in made free throws, but it has been a struggle tonight. 43% from the chair
is the term I would use, because we talk about the turnovers. We talk about not hitting the threes, the missing free throws. But as you and I talked about at halftime, the crazy thing is this team can go on a 20-point run in a heartbeat. Credit A&M's defense this evening and their ability to get on the glass that's prevented Arkansas from going on those kind of runs.
Texas A&M is on a 10-2 run itself right now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Mackenzie Green to Wells. Pitts fighting for the board, finishing through contact, and Texas A&M has its biggest lead.
The 12th offensive rebound for Texas A&M this evening, counting now for 10 second chance points.
Sydney Roby called for the foul as Erin Barnum driving in. Puts Erin Barnum at the free throw line. Well, this will be a SEC basketball women's doubleheader next Thursday. Number 7 Tennessee. They were upset by Florida tonight. They're going to host Missouri at 6:30 Eastern. And then Christy and I will be on the call for number 14 Georgia. They're in Baton Rouge to take on number 15 LSU at the PMAC. Those should be 2 pretty good games next week.
I mean, crazy night of hoops in the ACC. Yep, once again, LSU probably really happy that they're sitting at home this evening and not having to compete.
My goodness, Kayla Wells packed her shot today.
Kayla Wells gets those feet set. This is how hot she is. She steps backwards to make sure she's at the 3 and knocks it down.
23 points. Her season high is 25. Had that against Texas Southern.
Hey, Courtney, we still got a quarter to go.
We do. Oh, man, if she had gotten it right there. There's just an extra effort on the glass tonight for Texas A&M.
I mean, you got to give Destiny Pitts credit. That was her 11th rebound, or I'm sorry, 12th rebound on the game. I think message received by the Aggies from Gary Blair that points aren't the only thing that matters. We've got to put well-rounded efforts on the floor. You're seeing it with the defense. You're seeing it on the glass.
And Texas A&M out rebounding Arkansas 42-27. Sydney Roby and one. Foul on Aaron Barnum.
So impressed with the patience of A&M. Solidify the low post position, and then it's just being led to the basket. Soft touch, and one.
This has been one of the most connected games Texas A&M has played, especially in SEC play, and it started right off the bat, and they have continued that through halftime and through here at the end of the third quarter. Kayla Wells is down, but getting back up. Spencer, layup.
Second chance opportunity for Arkansas. They make the most of it.
But Q Hoppy is going to do the same thing and get to the free throw line on the other end. Wells got popped in the face on that last play.
It may have been lucky that she was already starting to fall before she ran into the Arkansas player. Just happy that she's back up. And Courtney, if the one thing that I'm so impressed is the resiliency of A&M this evening. So many times at this point in the season, teams play their record. And so A&M had every reason to do that. And we've seen Arkansas make a run. And even that last second chance opportunity. And what does A&M do? Gets it out quick and just attacks on offense. We're seeing a different mentality from the Aggies this evening.
It does not look like a 1-7 team in SEC play.
Best 1-7 team in SEC play I've ever seen.
They look that way tonight for sure. Of course, Charlie Cream does not have them in the field right now. He has Arkansas as a number 7 seed. Ramirez has been quiet for a while. Mackenzie Green. Here she goes again. Second time is good. She had 3 defenders standing around her.
Hey, but first you don't succeed. Try again, Mackenzie Green.
And that's been helping Texas A&M tonight. 15 offensive rebounds. Arkansas can take the last shot. Trying to grab some momentum. It's going to be a foul on MJ Johnson. Hedging on that screen.
Honestly, Courtney, it was a full-on switch. The 3 defenders were up there talking. They had a plan. Again, this team is just so much more connected than I have seen them to this point in the season.
If you're Arkansas, you're hoping maybe this will help him or Ramirez, seeing that shot go through. Both of them drop in. Hoppy pushing. And carrying is the call.
Hoppy got a little hoppy there with that carry. Watch for this lead pass for Spencer to get the ball near half court.
Texas A&M.
Absolutely. And I got to disagree with the Hall of Famer there. Great at coaching.
Yes. Absolutely is. And, of course, was at Arkansas for a decade and took them to a Final Four back in 1998.
I mean, highly unlikely going into the tournament. I mean, I just remember them going out to the West Coast and just upset after upset, led by point guard Christy Smith, get to the Final Four.
Yeah, they were the number 9 seed at the time, and they still are the lowest seed to ever make a Final Four. He was their head coach from 1993 to 2003. His career record 7-3 at going against Mike Neighbors. But he has very fond memories of his time in Fayetteville.
He's still a legend there. He walks in the arena, and everyone is bowing down to Gary Blair, as they should.
Yeah, Mike Neighbors was the director of operations coming in for that 1999 season after they went to the Final Four.
Hoppy gets burned there because she was trying to face guard Ramirez. Totally didn't see the ball. Ramirez smartly makes the backdoor cut and is able to draw the foul.
You're looking at how Texas A&M has played tonight. I mean, as we've talked about, this has been one of their best performances. I think a lot of that has to do with their head coach. He has never given up on this team.
You can just tell the frustration, and not towards his kids, that he hasn't had the answer. He said, I'm still trying. I just hadn't figured out what works. Well, I'm not sure what the pregame speech was today, but to this point in the game, Coach Blair, it has worked.
Maybe it was the ice storm outside, heating things up inside. I don't know if he can control the weather every game.
Well, what was the taco place that he said he had for lunch?
Oh, was it Fuego's?
Coach
you
Blair.
Should go there every time.
I was going to say, Coach Blair, always good for the food wreck.
Very true. Arkansas was outscored 25-18 in the third quarter. And there's a bucket from the freshman, Samara Spencer.
Well, right now, Spencer doesn't even need a screen. She's been able to beat the Aggies off the bounce. I expect a lot more of that here in the fourth quarter.
Now she's averaging 18.5 points per game her last 4 games. She's got 18 in this one. Kayla Wells, a new season high at 26 points.
Well, I give Destiny Pitts credit for that one. Was willing to make the extra pass, and Wells just knocks it down.
And then Pitts with the steal. Pitts in and out. Aaliyah Patty crashing the glass.
The Aggies just sharing the ball so well. Started with the dribble penetration. Pitts could have had it, but instead gives it up for a better shot. And the bench is loving it.
Sasha Goforth whistled for her second foul. Wells with that season high 26 points. Foul on Hoppy, but you know what? You got to love the effort.
Absolutely. 16 offensive rebounds for A&M to this point in the game. Hey, and you know what? It's not allowing Arkansas to get out in transition with the foul.
Ramirez coming off a screen. There it is. That is just her second three-point bucket. 2 for 5 from behind the arc for Mike Neighbors in her junior season. Potentially has 2 more seasons left. And the good news is the injury did not require surgery, and it's not season ending.
Well, I don't think it's happenstance that she is sitting next to the head coach, even though she is not playing. That's the respect Mike Neighbors has for this young lady.
And Spencer has been able to do that a lot tonight.
Well, we talked about the threes, but it has been Spencer's ability to get to the rim and just score the layups here in the second half. That's been the majority of the offense for Arkansas.
Now Arkansas's got to get a stop because Texas A&M's offense has been pretty solid. Jersey Wolfenbarger with the block.
Well, and started with Amber Ramirez deflection on the shot.
5 seconds, Patty from the baseline. All right, Arkansas got their stop. Now can they get points on the other end?
And for A&M, can they get stops without scoring? They can't allow their offense not working to affect their defense.
Goforth gets stuffed. Wolfenbarger can't finish.
Patty did just enough to alter the shot there and keep Arkansas from scoring.
This has been Texas A&M's ball game from the start. Their largest lead was 18 points. Ilana Eaton in and out.
If you're Arkansas, you got the look you wanted. In transition, that corner three on the left side is where they have scored the majority of their threes on the season. Unfortunately, Eaton just couldn't knock it down.
No, it's not just her. I mean, the threes are not falling easily for Mike Neighbors' squad tonight. 19% from behind the arc. 4 of 21. Arkansas averages 10 threes per SEC game.
But this is the numbers game with Mike Neighbors. They hit their next 4, it's all worth it. And that's the thing. We know they're capable of doing it.
Lingerman picks up her third foul.
Can I circle back to Gary Blair? Is it too much?
No.
Good, because it's never too much.
It's never too much.
You have to understand how good he has been tonight in calling the set plays. All in the paint. I can't say enough. Again, this team had been struggling offensively, and yet tonight he is calling the right plays at the right time for the Aggies.
Look, and Christy, we watched practice yesterday. Wasn't the best practice that we've ever seen. It was a struggle at times, and for this team to regroup and refocus like they have, it's impressive.
Absolutely, and it's Gary Blair and his staff. I think it's Nixon, the veteran on this team. You can't say enough. It's Wells who's just been balling out offensively.
26 points. Wolfenbarger going to the free throw line. We've talked about turnovers, too. Arkansas doesn't usually turn the ball over. Texas A&M has struggled with that. 15.6 turnovers per game. Just 5 turnovers tonight.
Well, I'll take it a step further. We said it would be possessions for A&M. They are plus 20 in field goal attempts over Arkansas to this point in the game. It's pretty good chances of winning when you can get that many more shot attempts.
Kayla Wells threw it over to the bench. And just as we were talking about turnovers, we'll take one for the team. That was on us.
You hitting your chest right now?
Yeah, yeah. Go forth. And that'll be a foul on Sasha Goforth, her third.
Patty altered the shot. Patty was able to get the loose ball. And I got to give Michaela Wells credit for the box out on the weak side over the much taller Arkansas player.
Yeah, Aaliyah Patty, she has 6 points, but look at the 13 rebounds. She has an assist, she has 2 steals, and she has made it difficult on Arkansas to score inside.
I think it's just a great lesson that the margin of error to win in the SEC is so small. It takes so many things for a team to do well to win. And so many times we focus on the points, but you're seeing it in spades here this evening with the Aggies. It's been the defense, it's been the rebounding, and it's been the offensive execution that has given them the 12-point lead.
Yeah, and this has been a Texas A&M team that has struggled. They started out the season 8-0. Since then, 3-9. They're 1-7 in SEC play, looking for their second SEC win.
I mean, they were so close at LSU going in that fourth quarter. At Mizzou, they were right there. They've had so many opportunities. You wonder right now, and this is where you got to be careful, the mental part of it. Do they believe that they can hang on this next 4 minutes? And again, not play to lose, but continue to play the way they have this whole game and get out of here with a W.
Ten seconds on the shot clock for Arkansas. And Ramirez will go to the free throw line. Second foul on Jones.
Jones is fast, but the thing she will have to learn is to stay down. And that's where Ramirez got her. Just with a change of pace, Jones rises up, Ramirez gets fired.
Look, Amber Ramirez still has 17 points. I know we keep saying she's struggling. She is 5 of 13 from the field. 5 points from the free throw line tonight for Ramirez.
Amber, that's Courtney's level of respect for you.
Yes, it is.
That we feel like, because we've been watching it, it's been 20-pointers, 30-point games that she's just been putting up at ease.
We've been spoiled.
Yes. Still a lot of game left to play.
Yeah, and she's continued to play in all areas. Just because her shot isn't falling as much as she would like, she's still playing hard. Here's Ramirez. Step back. Back to Wells. And hits the floor hard.
Gary Blair's been calling isolations for Wells to get to the rim. That time gets into the body of Goforth and gets the foul. And honestly, the last couple of trips, I feel like Wells has been looking for the foul more so than getting back to what she had been doing the better part of this game. Just looking to score.
Yeah, she's been much more intentional about getting that shot. She's 10 for 22 from the field, a season-high 26 points. We talked about this lineup, too, with seeing her at the foursome. Is that something they can do moving forward?
I think if you can score 71 points on Arkansas, that's a much better defensive team than, I'd
Yeah.
say go for it. But it's about matchups. Our
Right.
game is always about matchups. And so against an Arkansas team that wants to shoot the three, doesn't really go down low that much, it's a great lineup to use. But I'll be eager to see going forward how they continue to utilize this lineup.
Yeah, Texas A&M will play Kentucky here in Reed Arena on Sunday at noon Eastern, and they don't have a dominant post player like an Aaliyah Boston or a Tamari Key.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that we'll see a lot of that on Sunday. I mean, here's one thing about coaches. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And yes, that's my Southern.
Yep. Possession arrow pointing to Texas A&M. Texas A&M outscored Arkansas.
Offense-defense substitutions the last couple of possessions. Getting Nixon out on defense. Definitely getting her back in against the full court pressure of Arkansas.
Wells driving. Back to Patty. Ramirez taking the lane. And the Arkansas shooting woes continue. 38% from the field for Arkansas. 18% from three.
But Patty with the grown woman rebound there just to stop Arkansas in their tracks to even try a second chance.
Jordan Nixon. And Ramirez gets tripped up, going for the basketball.
Great job by Nixon.
Yes.
Patty was about to throw it to her in the backcourt. The senior said, no, no, no.
And then an offensive foul on the screen.
No, they got it on Nixon, saying she pushed off. Very subtle here, but it was right in front of the official. Courtney, I hit you harder than that over here on the sideline. So
Anytime. Come on.
It's not a foul over here.
It's just their 7th turnover. Their season low, by the way, is 8. They have really taken care of the basketball tonight. Sasha Goforth, and it's been that kind of shooting night from deep for Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great look. Spencer pulls the defender. Unfortunately, Goforth couldn't knock it down.
Just 4 made threes for the Razorbacks.
I would have liked to see Wells work the offense a little bit longer before she took that shot.
Langerman driving. And Patty is fouled. That's the 5th on Sasha Goforth, so she fouls out of this game. Well, looking at the SEC standings, we talked about jockeying for a position in the SEC tournament. Arkansas right now at 4-4. A loss here would drop them to 4-5 in conference play.
Well, I know Arkansas was looking to really, I mean, there's still a chance before tonight that they could work their way into that double bye. Tonight makes this a huge uphill battle for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and overall, Charlie Cream has Arkansas as a number 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. Patty at the free throw line right now for Texas A&M. And Arkansas's had some big wins. They're 22 in the net. They upset LSU last week. They almost had Tennessee on Monday.
I don't call that an upset last Thursday. That was just a complete and utter dominance.
Yeah, they did dominate LSU. I say only an upset because LSU is the ranked team and Arkansas is not.
I mean, but whether it is last Thursday or it is this Thursday, this conference just continues to show you that anything can happen on any night. But I think it also speaks to just how dominant South Carolina has been, that every night they have gone in and taken care of business, regardless of who the opponent has been.
And South Carolina got a win over Alabama tonight. Aaliyah Boston with her 15th straight double-double.
It's pretty good.
National Player of the Year?
Hey, Aaliyah Patty's not going to have a double-double, well, unless she gets another bucket. But 18 rebounds on the evening.
Yes. That ties her career high, which she set against UTSA. 19. New career high. And it's not just been Patty, it's been contagious, the rebounding for Texas A&M. I know we've talked about
defense has been pretty good here this evening as well.
Yeah, holding Arkansas to 62 points so far, under 40 seconds to go in this game. And Texas A&M looking for that second SEC win. Ten seconds on the shot clock now. Q Hoppy to Wells, and she's fouled on the 3.
Is it bad that I have mixed feelings? Because Patty got the rebound. I thought Patty might score for the double-double. It's a win-win for the Aggies right now.
Look, Kayla Wells, her career high is 29 points. She has 27. She's about to shoot 3 shots. I'm just telling you the facts.
I think it's the shoes. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep, I agree. .29 points for Wells. That's a career high.
I think the only person who was talking about it was the Arkansas radio coach,
Yeah.
trying to jinx her. Because no one else in the arena was, I don't even know if people were breathing in the
Yeah,
arena.
I was definitely not breathing. 30 points, a career high for Kayla Wells. She has been exceptional tonight. .7 seconds to go. And Jersey Wolfenbarger with the bucket. Arkansas had missed its last 11 shots before that bucket. But Texas A&M, whatever they found tonight, they better bottle it and bring it for the rest of the season. This is one of the best games the Aggies have played, and Gary Blair is going to